Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Before I start, I would like to apologise for not posting a video in the past 2 weeks, even though I said I'm going to do it every Tuesday. That's really bad of me, but in my defence, I've been going through my own personal problems, as many of us are going through at this very, very difficult time. But the change is in the air, and hopefully next year, at some point, as soon as possible, we can get on with travelling. Which is what we all love. So my apologies again for letting you down with my videos for those people who follow me. And if you don't, then please support me by liking and subscribing to my channel, because every little helps. Okay, so today I will be talking to you about border crossings in India, between India and Nepal. Now, the one I'm going to cover, I'm only going to cover one today. I've got a separate post on what I think is the 4 best ways to get into Nepal from India, but this one is just going to be about the Sunauli border. The Sunauli border deserves its own work because it's the most popular of all of the border crossings. Many of us will be planning to do this journey from India into Nepal because for a variety of reasons. Maybe you just want to go and see the country, and why not? It's fantastic here. Maybe you want to... Sorry, I'm just looking into my screen, and that statue of Buddha behind me is sort of illuminated at the top. Really sets the scene, doesn't it? Maybe... Anyway, maybe you want to go and see the country in depth. Maybe you want a new visa. There is a variety of reasons why you might want to be going to Nepal. It's a fantastic country. Really, there is a lot to do. So to cross the border from India, the easiest way, I think, for me, is by land. And if I'm honest with you, it's not by the Sunauli border, because the Sunauli border is right in the middle of the country, and if you're planning to do a trip around it, that's going to force you to make some funny trails. But it's the most popular of the border crossings, so I'm going to cover this one, and I'm going to cover it in depth. It's very important I do, because it is far and away the most popular border crossing. So now I'm going to talk about how do you get there? How do you get to Sunauli? So Sunauli itself is a town in the northern reaches of Uttar Pradesh. It's very seedy. It's a border town. It's downright unholy. You don't want to be hanging around there for very long. But what you can do is time it so you can get over the border very, very quickly and get away from there. I'm going to explain to you how do you not get caught up in the madness, because the village itself, you're going to be prone to a lot of cons. You're going to meet a lot of unsavoury people who tell you unsavoury things. This is my experience when I crossed the border. So there are 2 major ways that a backpacker is likely to take. One, you come from New Delhi. If you come from New Delhi, this is probably the most popular way, and you want to go to the tourist office, the tourist railway booking office in New Delhi train station. And when you go in there, you speak to somebody. You want to get as many trains as you can from there, because they are very, very helpful. The Indian railways have more than 3,000 train stations across the country. That is a lot of train stations, and very difficult for you to make sense of. It's also the single biggest employer of people anywhere in the world. So you want to speak to somebody who can make sense of that matrix. Yeah, I'm going to call it that. And when you speak to them, if you're going to Gorakhpur, they will know what you want. There are seats booked with the tourist quota that are allocated to this journey, because it's very, very popular with tourists. So this is all for foreigners, by the way. Domestic tourists, you know what to do. So what you do is you go in there, you book your ticket, and then make your way to Gorakhpur. That gets you in the early hours of the morning, which is what you want. Gorakhpur again is not the finest place to get stuck in. It's a very unfriendly town, and it's either Gorakhpur is the most popular place in the country to sleep in, or if you're a foreigner like myself, you're going to find it very difficult to find a bed there because everybody said they're full, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They turned down the business because there's a lot of paperwork involved, and so it can be very, very tricky to find a bed. You don't want to sleep there neither. So the overnight train to Gorakhpur is ideal. Sleeping at Sunauli is the last thing in the world you want. For those of you who do not know what the tourist quota is, do not know where it's beneficial, or how they manage to magic your seats out of thin air, then check the link below and check out my post on getting around India. So from there, you're going to make your way to Sunauli, which isn't very far. Gorakhpur is only a couple of hours. You can go there by bus or shared jeep. But ultimately, the other popular place is from Varanasi, but that is going to connect to the same place. You go to Gorakhpur and then you connect again. Varanasi is a very backpacker-friendly town. So this, again, if you have to get, I recommend you get a night bus this time. From Varanasi, you can leave your luggage in your hotel. You can go and enjoy a night cruise down the Ganges and go and watch the prayers and everything, and it's all great. But they're very, very tourist friendly. They know what it is that you want. So then you go to the bus stand and you get a night bus. You're not missing out on anything. It's very boring. Roads are straight. It's not much to say. You get the bus to Gorakhpur. That takes 7 hours. Bear that in mind. So you can get on the bus at 11 and it'll be comfortable for you. And then from Gorakhpur, same thing. By bus or train, it doesn't really matter because it's all in the same compressed area. That is very handy for you. And then if you're from the train station, you just walk over the road down a little bit and just ask anyone where the bus stop is, and that will take you straight to the Sunauli border. So now that that we've got you to the point where you're safely there, now let's take a look at getting away from there. So now you've got to the other side of the border. I'm not skipping a step, by the way. I'm going to go back in a minute and we're going to talk about visas, costs, restrictions and avoiding scams. I'm talking about how to get away from there now. So just imagine you've got all that and you've passed already. So you need to get somewhere. So you've arrived in the early hours of the morning from Gorakhpur. You've spent a couple of hours getting to the border. You're going to be tired at this point. It takes a special kind of person to want to get on the bus to Kathmandu, which is a long journey. It depends on the traffic. Can take 15 hours, depends. So you're probably not going to be thrilled about doing that decision. So what I usually do is I go to Lumbini, which is the birthplace of Lord Buddha. And this is a fantastically tranquil place. It's not very far. It's I think 16 minutes. Once you get over the border, there'll be lots and lots of local buses that go, and they're very, very small and cramped. You've got to get on one for 16 minutes to the village of Birawa, and then you get another bus to Lumbini, which is about 45 minutes to an hour. This is a great place to take stock and well worth visiting anyway, because it is the epitome of tranquility. It's a wonderful, wonderful place, and it's nice just to kick back for a couple of days. It's still steaming hot though, I must warn you, because you're still in the Terai, and so you want to spend a couple of days there, but just bear in mind you're not going to get the cool breeze of the Himalayas, because there's a good chance if you've been enduring the Indian summer, then you're thinking enough is enough. You can, if you really desire that, you can get the bus to Tanzania. That's not an insane amount of miles. You just carry on up the road to Tanzania, Palpa, and it's a good deal cooler, and it's nice just to not be sweating, because the Indian summer is It's toasty. It's toasty. So that's another option. There are many long haul buses just across the border, and if you go to Birawa, then there's more. And so you've got a variety of. The last thing I'm going to say is a lot of people go there, because I've made this mistake myself. You cross the border, right, and you look and you think, oh, Chichwan's not very far. I'll just go there. It's not far. Yeah, it is. It's really, really far. I got there in before midday over the border, paperwork, everything finished, and I didn't reach there till way after dark. I had to sleep in town, and I don't recommend it. And either Tanzan or Lumbini is your best bet, because odds are you're going to be tired, and so they're both fantastic destinations. That is my advice for getting away from the border. And but you know, everyone makes it up as they go. So this is how it's been to my experience. I've crossed this border at least half a dozen times, and I always use Lumbini. For me personally, I mean, sure, you're looking forward to the cool breeze of the Himalayas, but Lumbini is well worth your journey. Check it out. It's just fantastically beautiful place. Okay, next. So now you're at Sunauli. You're going to walk from the bus stand over to the border. When you get off the bus, you're going to be greeted by a wall of people that are going to tell you it's miles into the desert and you can't possibly walk there because you're going to die. Unless you have some kind of underlying health condition, or you have just can't be bothered, then you can easily walk it. It's a whole kilometre, less than probably, to the border, and you can't get lost. It's on a straight road. Just walk out the bus stand onto the main road, and then you walk up it. Can't miss it. As you approach the border, you're going to see the Indian office. It has recently moved. It's very small, so just keep an eye out for it. Now you're going to stamp your passport. That's your exit stamp. You cross the border. There's this little tiny gap, and from the little tiny gap, there's a little tiny office. And you go in there, and you apply for your passport. You don't apply for your passport. What? Sorry about that. You apply for your visa. So what do you need? You need a pen. Take a pen that works, because they don't always have them. Then you need your US dollars, and I recommend that you have US dollars. Don't try and change it with anything else, because you're going to get a very bad rate. They're not the most innocent of people. I'm going to say innocent of people who work in that office. And if you pay with anything else, you're going to lose money on the exchange rate. You can pay in anything, but US dollars is US dollars. That's what it's specified in. You cannot overcharge you with that. It is what it is. Although I have been overcharged before, because they made the initial cost higher. You know what to do in that situation. You just say, sure, here's an extra $5. What are you going to do? Can't argue with them. So you got your dollars. Don't listen to anyone as well who says that you can't change Indian rupees once you cross the border. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can change them everywhere. Absolute nonsense, that is. So what else do you need? Passport, photos, and of course you need your passport, and it needs to be valid. If you've got all of those components, it could not be easier. They will just give you what you need, and then on you go. And that is pretty much everything, isn't it? If I missed anything, or if you want to know anything more, then you can ask me any questions you want in the comment section of this, or you can go over to my website. All I want to do is to make sure that you enjoy your time in India, and because I just love the country, and I literally think it's the greatest place in the world to travel in. So my mission is to help you to organise your dream trip. So if you have any questions about this or anything else, do not hesitate to ask me, because I've got a lot of years to draw from. So with that about wraps up my talk today on this particular topic. So until the next time, Happy trails.